ACGT Tour Report Power Hour, powered by NothingisOB Golf Podcast. All right, guys, welcome to the ACGT Tour Recap Power Hour, episode number 3. That's right. In the words of Travis, it only took 3 episodes for it to be just him and I. So thanks for tuning in tonight. Let me intro right here. My man, Travis Salkowski. How's it going, man?
Hey, good. Good to be back, Andy. Thanks for having us again with the tour report. Having a great day. An off weekend show, so excited to have a show with no official event to recap, but I think we got a great show planned and it's going to be a good time. Just you and me hanging out. Casey was unavailable tonight and Jason had a big work function and Dustin is a little under the weather. So here we are, just you and me, mano y mano on the tour report Power Hour.
Well, that's a good thing because I think so many people have said that this show needs to be renamed to the Dustin Hassan Love Hour. That's what it really needs to be because we've done nothing but kiss his ass the whole time on this show. Every week, it's all about him and who his partner is, or he won, match play, Riverside. Damn, dude. I mean, this guy's just picking up too much hardware.
Well, it's important when you're on top of the leaderboard to keep grinding it out as much as you can. And he is clearly playing good golf right now and on top of the leaderboard 3 weeks in a row. Hard not to talk about. It is the Dustin Hassan spring season spectacular, but his winning ways did end this past weekend. Dustin and I lost in a fun round a couple times to Casey Graham and Mike Dermanuelian on Saturday. And then we lost again. Dustin and I lost again to Casey and Sean Wolf on Sunday. So we can't, I was doing everything I could. I was making stuff up as we were going to try to keep the match alive. And we still couldn't beat Casey the way he was putting over the weekend. So, but yes, you're right. Dustin's having a great season and it's about staying up in the top 3 on the point standings for him right now, that auto spot on the team.
So where did y'all play
at? We played up at Twin Creeks on Saturday. Mike Dermanuelian, you're probably watching the show right now. Thanks for watching. He's a member up at a club called Twin Creeks in Austin. So Dustin and I played against Dermanuelian and Casey, and we made it to the 17th hole. We did not start very strong, but we kept it alive. And then on Sunday, we played at River Crossing, where Sean Wolf and his son Jackson works at.
Oh, okay. So one of the big goals that I've had, I've had several goals, and like we stated in earlier discussions, they've changed, right? They've kind of molded as this time has gone on, hosting this show, not hosting the show. It's taken different identities, right? I first started the show because I wanted just free stuff, right? I just wanted, some on par hats, let's see, I don't know if people can see. I got a little Tilly back there.
Oh, there it is. I have tour hats for you. I understand this. I understand the swag.
So a lot of it had to do, I wanted free stuff. And then after a while, it changed certain different directions, right? But the main goal was every time I talk about golf, I feel like my pops is right next to me, which still holds true to this day. Talked to him right before the show, and he's like, "Hey, Andy boy, tear it up, dude." And I'm like, and I need to introduce you to my pops. I mean, like people think that I speak like him. I'm being funny. No, that's how a 67-year-old Mexican from the Vadio and Corpus, that's how he speaks. And so another goal was to help improve that, or to help kind of the perception of TPC or the Valero Open, the Texas Valero Open, as it kind of being like a stepchild of the tour, right? So that's also another one of my goals. And then the last goal that I think has just been, kind of taken some shape is that I just love these freaking connections. I just love the connections, and I love to hear the stories, and I love to hear the stories and about these storied courses, because you know what? Before I started doing all this podcast stuff, I knew absolutely nothing about BRAC. I just knew that they added in, I guess, in 98 or 99, 2000, whenever they added like 80 something bunkers. That's about the only, that's the only history I knew about BRAC. And one of the biggest goals to take shape was I wanted to play every course in the San Antonio and greater San Antonio area. And I'm so close. I'm so close. I have the club at Cordillera Ranch. I have Boot Ranch. I have Lady Bird, and River Crossing is on it. And that's it. And then I will have hit and played every course in the greater San Antonio area.
Well, I mean, Cordillera, Boot Ranch, top 2 elite. Keep working on the connections and it'll happen, I promise. Lady Bird, you can go up there anytime you want.
Okay, right here. My man, Michael James. He said, Andy, you guys can come up. I got you. Where is he at?
So he's at Twin Creeks. That's where we played on Sunday. It's in Northwest Austin, off of Anderson Mill.
So hey, I'm gonna take him up. I'm writing it down. I'm writing notes right here.
Listen, it's MD. You're gonna have a text message before the show's over, But I agree with that comment. Jason Sandoval, Boot, and Cordillera are elite private clubs in the area. And River Crossing, I love playing River Crossing. The greens are always good. Super fast. It's up, down, left, right, hill country, Texas golf. It's always windy. It's not windy at all in the parking lot. And the minute you get on the first tee, which is adjacent to the parking lot, there's a 25-mile-an-hour wind. I don't understand. But I like it. It's a good course. I historically play it well. I did not play well on Saturday, but that's okay.
Tell me, were y'all playing for handshakes, or were y'all playing for something?
I think that when you get into the grudge matches with us, that's kind of what we nicknamed them a couple years ago. I think playing for the handshakes is more important than playing for the money. We play for money in little games, quarters here, dollars there, nothing major. So it's $4 or $6 at the end. But when you're playing for the chance for Casey to say, he was undefeated for the weekend, that stings much more than $25.
Oh man. Okay. Well, amongst my guys, amongst my boy Jeremiah Sierra and our 4 bros, we like to play. We play for money, but we want to see the Venmo and the Cash App transaction, because and that's why I always pay in cash.
Oh, I like that. That's good. Yeah. Right? The public transaction, right? For golf decks. Okay.
So when so it's like there's a trail, right? There's a trail that money was exchanged, or you lost some money. You see it in the red, right? You see that negative sign. And so he's always telling me, hey man, Venmo me that money, Cash App me that money. And I'm just like, hell no, I ain't Cash Apping, Venmo nobody. I straight cash, homie. No one's gonna see that I paid your ass for a golf bet that I lost.
Back when the grudge match started, right when COVID hit, we and the tour stopped for COVID in San Antonio, and we started going to the outskirts of town to play golf. There used to be a spreadsheet. There was an Excel spreadsheet where we typed in numbers and every line item balanced at 0. And sometimes Sandoval would have to get involved with his accountant stuff. And it all balanced, and that's when it was intense. And I really give Jason Bird a lot of credit. I hate to do that publicly, but I give Jason Bird a lot of credit for grinding through those grudge matches. And he really started playing better when we were playing for that type of cash.
So I like that, dude. I do like an OG grudge match. I got a lot of guys right here chiming in on that. We got Sando. I freaking miss the old grudge matches. I got Kevin Keeney. Is it Kevin Keeney?
Yep, Kevin Keeney.
OG grudge match.
Yeah, Kevin Keeney was in the first ever grudge match. The first ever Kevin Keeney was in. Kevin Keeney is couldn't come 1 week shortly after that, and that's when Dustin Hassan slid into the OG grudge match group. I felt more pressure playing in the grudge matches than on tour. That's good.
Let's see. There you go, Sando. There it is.
Yes.
But like you always say, the teachable moments, right?
The unteachable moments.
There you go.
Unteachable moments. As a golf instructor, you try to replicate stuff, right? You try to replicate playing circumstances, and those moments are unteachable moments. Like we talk about it at the horse race for the tour all the time. Feeling that is an unteachable moment. You just got to feel it and try to better prepare the next time you're in that situation.
Well, one thing you always say, that's one thing you always say, and I love it, unteachable moments. And I'm starting to make some hats, right? And so I'm making hats, NothingisOB hats, right? I'm putting my logo on there because I think it's a sweet ass design. And then I'm also putting one of my catchphrases that I always like to say he didn't want it, right? And so so that's what it's going to say on a hat. And then I'm also going to make another hat where unteachable moments.
Yes, that is trademarked. No, we're gonna do some fun merchandise like that. We're gonna do some birdie to win ACGT Tour caps, some stuff like that too. But I like that. I say unteachable moment a lot. Say it a lot.
But you know what? It's good. I use that as a coach. All right, Travis. Let's get right into it right now. Let's go ahead and have a word from my man, the director.
Okay, so a word. Let's go over Riverside flight winners one more time. 2 weeks ago, ACGT Tour event 6 was at Riverside. Do we have those photos, Andy?
Yes, we sure do.
Last week, we started the show with a little bit of technical difficulty, and we didn't get a chance to show the pictures of the flight winners. So I wanted to take my opening segment to roll through those flight winners again. You post the picture and I'll comment.
All right, here we go. Now I'm going to just do a little bit of some work on my end right now so you can make sure that so everybody can really see. I'm going to go to my board. So that it kind of works out a little bit better. All right, if you're good with that.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me. There we go. That is Sean Vidal and Dustin Weldon winning championship flight, getting those victory cookies from our victory cookie sponsor, the Cake Place and More, Laura Lewis. Sean Vidal and Dustin Weldon won a big 4-way playoff at 6 under, take home champ flight.
There we go. Let's see. Let's go to. All right. There we go. And of course, the love affair continues right there.
There we go. We couldn't go 5 minutes without talking about Dustin. Dustin Hassan and Jonathan Aiken winning a scorecard playoff at 63. That is 9 under for first place net in champ flight. And then we got Jeremy Semlinger from first flight and Chris Espinoza. They were first flight net winners. Chris Espinoza, Jeremy Semlinger, also at 9 under 63.
Okay, so how do you say his last name again? How do you say Jeremy's last name?
Jeremy Semlinger.
Semlinger. And that is one thing I know you really pride yourself on. You pride yourself on getting everybody's last names correct. That's the one thing I am horrible with. it.
It's important. I'm on a loudspeaker a lot. I'm on a PA system a lot. And my last name is Salkowski. So I get butchered a lot all the time. So it's one of those things that if it's going to be a pet peeve for me, I want to make sure that it's right for everyone who plays on tour when I announce them at the first tee, when they win prizes at the scoring table, when they make the team, when we call them out in the show. That's important to me to get it spelled right. And I'm not afraid to ask you. I'll ask you if that was right or if it was wrong or what you want. But don't wait 2 years to tell me that Nadu is pronounced NATO. You know?
The tornado.
Tornado.
The tornado.
Yes. So that is Chris Espinoza, Jeremy Semlinger. We are moving on. That is second flight right there. We've got second flight.
I think this is first flight gross, right?
That is first flight gross. Diego Hernandez and Edgardo Hernandez. They were 4 under 68, 3 clear of the rest of the field at Riverside. And that is, now we're to second flight. That is Sam Braswell and his son, Taylor Braswell. They are 6 under gross. They were gross flight winners at Riverside, Sam and Taylor Braswell. And there we go. We got Mark Reiser and Barry Gooden coming in at a whopping 15 under par net at Riverside, winning second flight. That is 57 for those of you guys doing the math at home. That is 57 net for Barry Gooden and Mark Reiser. That is fourth flight. We jumped to fourth flight. Fourth flight.
My bad.
Yep,
my bad.
It's okay. It's okay. We're good. I got you. You're keeping me honest on the fly here. That is Michael Giampietro and Ray Kang winning a scorecard playoff there at 59 minus 13.
Ray Kang, member of the South Texas Match Play Challenge team.
That is correct. Ray Kang, team member from last year. And that is sticking in fourth flight. Good job, Andy. That is JoJo Medellin and Ray Martinez winning gross in fourth flight. 2 over par, 74.
There we go. Okay. Before we move on here, can you just give, maybe there's some dumb guys like myself out there. What is, I guess, maybe the handicaps, or what do these guys shoot to be champ, to be first flight, second flight, third flight, fourth flight? Because I need to know who I need to get so I'm in third and fourth flight. That's where Andy Torres needs to be in.
That's a great question, and it's simple math. It is player A plus player B equals your team total, and we use the team total index to straight break the flights. For example, there were 140 players. That is 70 teams. There were 5 flights of 14 teams each. That's good math. Yes, that's correct. 5 flights of 14 teams each at Riverside, and it just breaks where the decimal point breaks. So if 1 week you bring Casey Carnes, you're going to be in a different flight than the next time you bring
Jeremiah Sierra
there. Yeah. I'm staring at a leaderboard that has first flight on it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to make somebody mad right now.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. So one thing, since we still have the third flight to cover, but it's something that it's been on my mind. All right. It's been on my mind, and I have to, you're in charge. You're the head guy, right? You are the head man. Okay. So Jeremiah Sierra plays in his first event. I think it's at Brack, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he played on the day y'all were giving out the jacket, right?
Okay.
Somebody in his group goes low. And I don't know if that's true. Shot like in the high 60s, low 70s. And
I need more to go off than that. Okay, yeah, I need more than the story.
Okay, well, and from what I heard, and a lot of guys in the NOLA ASA group were also mentioning that somebody, a high handicapper, went really low and ended up winning the championship or winning the jacket. Is that true?
Without looking at scorecards in front of me, I'm not going to be able to rip that one off the head. I wish Casey was here because he could tell you who's won every tournament for the last 10 years. But yes, so the Alamo City Golf Trail Tour's handicap database is exactly that. It is based on tour scores only. So you could have somebody come on to tour and shoot big number, or maybe they're getting back into golf and they post a big number as a better player. Well, this is my official statement, nobody remembers the dead last. They only remember the net 62 to win the next tournament. And then it averages out, and it's the tour handicap is your tour handicap average for 2 years plus the current season. So once you play more than 2 or 3 events, it's locked and loaded. It is what it is, and it is a solid formula that produces 97% accuracy. We're always going to have outliers. There's always going to be somebody who has a great day, or there's always going to be somebody who's, I hate to say sandbagging. It's not the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to say, but tournament golf.
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off. We say that, right? We say the S word, right? Sandbagging.
Yeah.
Well, are there, and every member, that's one thing, you're so good about that. Hey, you've played, you're hey, you're Jason Sandoval, or you're Andy Torres, or everybody, right? So are there some people that are kind of have some of those stigmatism, or kind of that weird air that some things are rumored that, hey, this guy might be, sandbagging, or, taking some shots off, or try to beef up that handicap?
In my personal and professional opinion, and me, I won't filter anything. I don't think anybody has ever intentionally tried to manipulate the system to win a $75 gift card. I don't. I really don't. It has happened with outliers before, where somebody comes on tour and it's their first time playing in a tournament, and maybe they shoot 80 with their buddies on Saturday, but that 80 is not playing by the rules of golf. It's not. And they shoot 95, and all of a sudden they get an 18 handicap. And that was at Cedar Creek. And the next event, we're at Riverside, and they have an 18 handicap at Riverside, and they shoot net 65 and win first place. So they go last place, first place. Nobody remembers the last place.
There we go. Sando. I was a sandbagger when I started. It happens when you get good fast.
So yeah, that is Sando's calling himself good. Let's comment on that first. He's defined himself as a good player publicly.
I like his swing, man. I like his swing. He's got like an old timer swing. I feel like I'm looking at not Bagger Vance. I feel like I'm looking at Captain Juna whenever I see him swing.
That's a great way to describe his swing. It is very smooth, very, very buttery soft, very buttery smooth, very old school. I do like that term.
I feel like he's playing with McGregor's.
the one iron butter knife. Yeah. But yes, that's another good point. Let's say you play a year on tour and it was just you playing, and you spend the off season taking 2 golf lessons a week, practicing every day, and try. You're going to your scores could potentially get lower than your handicap trend goes. So
there you go, Sando. That's what baseball and no lessons will get you. Well, I hate that. Okay, about my swing, I hate that when people say, "Hey, did you play baseball?" And I said, "Yeah." How could you tell? Oh, you got a baseball swing, and I tell them, "Well, I was never a good hitter."
Well, it's a dead giveaway when you step with your left foot in your golf swing. That's a dead baseball giveaway.
Damn.
Just trying to get a little extra power. I understand.
Okay, I didn't mean to go off track. It's just I'm sure we share a similar mind that, hey, when something's in here, I got to get it out, because if not, it's going to get lost in here.
I'm going to stand by the comment that I've never personally witnessed anybody doing it on purpose, the sandbag and stuff. I've never witnessed it on purpose. And then after 2 events, it is what it is. It's you paid your tournament entry fee to shoot that score, and it's in the database.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Back. Sorry for the sidetrack. Back to third flight.
All right, reining it back in. Okay, third flight. That is Josh Jordan and Kyle Young. They won third flight net. Kyle Young's having a great spring season. Did well in that San Pedro match play. So that is third flight net winners. And then we are moving on to third flight gross. There's our man, Jeff Konzemius and Scott Williams, both in the top 10. Scott Williams going on the travels trip this year. We're going to talk a lot about that coming up in this show. And they took home 150 points, third flight gross winners. So I just really wanted to take the time today to show those pictures. It was a cool new backdrop, and there was some technical difficulty on the show last week that we had to fight through with our unteachable moments.
It was my fault. Just say it. It was my fault. I admit it. But I cleaned it up nice. What did you think?
I thought it was great.
Show.
That is a good video of that iron that I hit there was on at Whistling Straits. Patrick DeCosimo actually filmed that. And that iron I hit and walk off, I laugh every time I see that.
I love that, but I think that's you in a nutshell. I think that's your golf game in a nutshell. That you're like, hey, you hit it, boom, on the money, let's go.
Yeah. Let's get. I am planning the next shot and the next shot by the time that ball lands. So I am engaged. And I was playing okay on the backside that day. I didn't play good on the front nine, but I was playing good on the backside.
Okay, now I know you had a script for us. I know you have a script for us, but I mean,
we are so far off script, it doesn't matter. So you just let's
okay, because I got my man Greg. I got Greg on, and thank the Lord. I'm always concerned with having somebody on a show, right? Because, like I stated, the show is taking several different twists and turns. But now, before I have somebody on the show, I always want to make sure that they are going to be a good fit. I figured out, you know what? That's why I don't have a show every week, because I wear a lot of freaking hats, right? But I always want to meet somebody. I want to talk with them. I just want to know you. Like, I just want to know you, Travis. I want to know them, right? And I want to know these people, and I want to make sure they're a right fit for my show. And again, I want to continually put good shit out there. And luckily enough, the guy that we're about to bring on, Greg, I've had the privilege of playing with him, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's in the waiting room right there. He's in the waiting room. So you know what? I'll wait to give my little story about this guy, about Greg, here in a little bit, because I've had a bite of the rattlesnake, if you will, right? So here we go. So can we bring Greg on? Can we?
Yeah, I mean, let's just.
Do you want to intro him, or do you want to?
No. You did. Let's bring Greg on. We are talking about right now. Let's bring Greg on. Let's talk with Greg.
What's up, Greg? How's it going, brother?
Hey, how are y'all?
Doing well, man. Thanks for being on the show tonight.
It's a pleasure. So what is this grand story that you have?
You know what?
I have no idea. I love it. We are. Andy said we had a script to follow. I mean, we've been off script since the show opened. So here we are.
We were getting there before the show opened. In all honesty, am I right, Travis?
Well, the opening backstage monologue. I mean, we should record that, because I bet there's guy, man. There's good content that comes out of that completely filterless, open and honest conversation that starts the show. Okay. But yeah, no, this is great. I'm excited to hear this.
Okay, you know what? In the grand scheme, it's more buildup than anything, right? It's kind of like my wife. I'm just gonna let y'all down, right? I'm gonna let y'all down. And so what happened? My wife, hey, thank you, babe. Thank you, babe. All right. So again, golf is a super intimidating. It can be very intimidating when you're walking into that pro shop, you're walking in that clubhouse, you're trying to, kind of break the ice with a group of guys and that you're not used to playing with, right? And so Greg, one of the nicest guys ever, right? Like so annoying, right? So annoying. I'm like, man, this guy is just palling it around with everybody. He's got the ACGT Tour bag with his name on it, or he's got the, that's the when you make the South Texas Match Play Challenge team bag, it's baby blue or that light blue, whatever, right? And I'm just like, man, this guy knows everybody, and I'm playing with them, and I don't know anybody. I was like, I barely know Travis, but luckily enough, Travis parked my vehicle for me, right? I barely know anybody.
Okay, that was Willow, right?
Yeah,
Willow. Yeah.
Now I know where we're at. We've got a date stamp. We are talking about Andy playing in a tour event with Greg Graf. There we go. For those of you watching at home.
All right. Okay. So Greg, speaking super knowledgeable, right? Just very knowledgeable about how things work in the tour, the South Texas Match Play. Oh, I went on the trip with Travis. I mean, just really just a love affair, like a love affair with Travis. The hair, the grace.
I'd like to define that as ambassadorship.
That sounds way better.
Yes, it does.
And so I'm just like, man, this guy's making me sick. This guy's making me sick to my stomach over here. And I said, I don't know anybody. Greg knows everybody. And again, that was just basically it. And, I really saw why a lot of people gravitate towards Greg. Good dude, good guy. Very honest. Greg, and that's one thing. That's where kind of Greg, you kind of won me over through our round. You're like, hey, you got a double? I got a double. I got a 6. I got a 7. And I'm just like, man, I said, you know what? This guy in a game, again, this game is a game of integrity, and you learn a lot by playing with somebody. And I learned a lot about Greg, about his honesty, integrity. And I knew it. I said, man, I can't hate this guy. He's like a legit good dude. And I see why
we had a blast.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You had a blast. I sucked. I was the one guy that was cut from that damn thing. All right. And so I had a great time.
Now we are in round 2 of the playoffs. Last fall at Willow Springs is where we're at.
Yep.
And so Greg, I wanted to tell you thank you, man. You were a great partner to have, a great first partner to have. You really showed me what the tour is about, and I'm really thankful that I had the opportunity to play with you. And I hope that's not the last time I played, because again, I was nervous. And I think you made it easy for a guy like me just to come off the street that had never played the tour before to go out there and just be one of the guys.
Awesome, man. I mean, I had a blast, and thank you for all you do. I mean, you got a new subscriber that day too, so it's been fun to hear all your podcasts and everything like that.
Well, thank you, brother.
Well, that is definitely by design. So there are about 10 total ambassadors that I trust to talk about the tour the way that I would communicate to a first-time tour player, and we try not to let there be first-time tour golfers only in a pairing. So an ambassador would get paired in a regular tour event. The event you're talking about was paired on points. So a normal tour event, a new tour golfer could get paired with an ambassador by design to make it easier to feel exactly the way you expressed, to release the tension, to welcome that first time tour player.
Well, shoot, man. Yeah. Hey, y'all did the damn job. And you know what? It was amazing.
But that was the playoffs. You should have known what was going on by now. Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay, let's get right into it. All right. My love affair. One more guy, Greg, to add to your followers and to your fans, Greg. All right, let's get right into it. Travis, why do we have our man Greg on the show tonight?
Well, we are talking a lot about ACGT Tour Travels, which is a year, maybe semi-yearly trip that some of the ambassadors and myself put on for tour customers. And I really wanted to talk about the Tour Travels this week. It was an off week, technically no event to recap, even though we did Riverside. But this year's trip is right around the corner. And we are going to Destination Kohler, Wisconsin, Whistling Straits, Black Wolf Run, the first week of June. And Graf went on that trip last year. Graf went on the trip the year before that, which was the first trip we took customers on, where it really kind of blossomed from just the ambassadors playing golf to taking customers. And so Greg's been on a couple trips, and it's an off weekend show, and we're promoting the ACGT Tour Travels brand. We have one available spot left for this year's trip. PM the ACGT Tour's Facebook page for details on that. If you are interested in going, we have one spot left available for sale. And so I thought it'd be really cool to bring Greg on, hear Greg's stories from the trips the last couple of years, see what the trips are like from a customer's point of view. I mean, I'll talk your ear off about logistics and tee times, and traveling across country with 24 grown-ass men is not easy, but we brought Greg on the show tonight to see it from a golfer or a customer or a trip member's point of view.
You're on mute there.
Thank you right there.
Oh, there we go.
All right, Greg, why don't you kick it off? Let us know how that experience is and a couple of stories from the trip.
Just absolutely amazing. The first trip that I went on was to Paako Ridge, which is just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I mean, can't even describe it hardly. We stayed at this 3-story house that was in I believe the Cibola National Forest, which was 10 minutes from the golf course. It's the lushest greens and just grass everywhere that I've ever seen. Outside of the 2 flags behind me, but other than that, it was amazing.
I mean, that's a Paako Ridge flag on the wall behind you.
Yeah, it is for sure.
The middle on Greg's right side, the screen's left side.
Yep,
that is Paako Ridge's. Andy, do we have some photos from Paako Ridge? Were we able to slip those in? Yes, no, no. Okay,
you're gonna be mad at me. I'm okay.
Never mad. Mad.
Casey overloaded me with footage. Like, you know what? I try to be a crowd pleaser, but I do have these little Jimmy Dean sausage fingers, right? So Casey sent me all this stuff last minute, and again, I'm a husband, father of 2, middle school athletic director. I teach, I coach, I do the Lord's work. I mold young minds, and I still have time to try to please Travis, right? Try to please Travis.
Oh,
and and so you said it was really important to try to get the pictures on that we missed last week. And so
Greg, you heard it here first. We'll put your pictures on next week.
Yeah.
And we'll circle back.
Well, just for everybody that doesn't know, so Paako Ridge is 27 holes. I mean, it's just fantastic. If it was not in New Mexico, it'd be like top 20 in the world, or top 20 in the U.S. at least.
I agree. It was when we played it a couple years ago, it was number 50 on the top 100 list.
Yeah.
And I think that was a statement that we all collectively came out. If Paako Ridge was in California or Florida or Northeast, it would be in the top 20 for sure. And a lot more people would talk about it. It is a really cool property.
It's I think 7,000 square feet, 7,000 feet above sea level. So your ball flies forever, but it also is intimidating because you roll up to like a par 3 and it's like 257 yards.
Oh my God.
So, yeah,
it's 257 yards downhill, down the mountain. And instead of hitting 3-wood, you're hitting 5-iron, 250.
Yeah. God, Kevin Keeney. Is it Keeney? Am I saying
Kevin Keeney? You were saying it correct. Kevin Keeney was on that trip.
Monster par 3s. He states monster par 3s.
Just ginormous. I mean, but fantastic.
All right, Greg, give me a story. Give me one story that stands out maybe more than others. And remember, the name of the podcast.
I don't think we tell that story. I don't think we tell that story.
Okay.
No, I mean, just the epicness of, playing just, every day. We played 27 holes one day, I believe, and then 18 the next. The restaurant on site was absolutely amazing. And with us traveling with Travis and Tour Travels, I mean, we just treated like kings. I mean, just fantastic time.
And I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people look for nowadays, because it seems like everyone's putting out a good product course-wise. It seems like it's the customer service that really kind of makes or breaks the trip. Would you say?
Yes. Yeah,
so
definitely.
So tell me, all right, so you played Paako Ridge, and then you went to Wisconsin last year, Whistling Strait, and several other courses. Talk to us a little bit about the trip to Whistling Straits and Kohler.
So you get, I mean, it's almost golf overload. I mean, we just had so much fun. But I mean, so there's Whistling Straits, there's Black Wolf Run, you have the Meadows course and the River course. River course super hard. Meadows course is probably my second favorite of the trip. And so we played there. Fun story on that one. Whistling Straits, Sean Sexton and I we shared the caddy, so all the caddies carry 2 bags. And so Sean Sexton and I would routinely, and there's no carts, so he would hit left, I would hit right. We'd go to the next hole, I'd hit left, he'd hit right. And our caddy's just dying, just absolutely dying. I mean, we're helping and we're carrying our bags, to one side or the other, whatever. We get to 16 and we both just hit. I mean, I think you could have probably thrown a blanket over our drives. he looks back at me and he's like, "Why start now?"
I thought you were gonna tell me that y'all are notorious for stashing beers in your bag, and you have beers. You got bottles of bourbon or something. And man, that's what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping. You were gonna say next.
There's stuff that happened like that, but I mean, yeah, but Whistling Straits, fantastic. No cart, so you could definitely tell on the trip like who walks the courses every once in a while and who doesn't, especially towards the end of the trip.
Oh yeah, that is for sure. I mean, that's a lot of golf in a short period of time, and if you're not used to walking, it kicks your butt down the back.
Yep. Yeah, it sure does. Black Wolf Run, carts, but you have a 4 caddy, so that was also an awesome experience. The Rivers course definitely was difficult, we'll just say. Meadows course was, like I said, fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Greg was my partner on the River course.
Yes.
On last year's Travels Day.
You don't sound too excited about that.
I had a rough day.
Well, let me pull out the scorecard here.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, so give me one story or that aha moment or that moment where you were just in awe when you played your round at Whistling Straits.
I mean, I think it's the second par 3 that's right by the ocean. I mean, that was the best shot I hit all week. I hit a 9-iron to like 8 feet. I mean, and the pin was just all the way to the right. I mean, you just couldn't miss anywhere. And so that was the best shot of the week. As far as best experience, I mean, I absolutely adored Erin Hills.
And y'all played Erin Hills too?
We did go to Erin Hills the last day of the trip. Yes.
Oh my gosh, Travis.
But that was I want a disclaimer here. That was a complete a la carte purchase. Everybody got cars and did their own thing. That was an extra add-on in addition to the ACGT Tour Travels at Destination Kohler.
Okay, so remember, I'm just a hack golfer that
insurance claimer.
I'm just a hack golfer that started NothingisOB podcast, right? So, okay, help me out here. Whistling Straits, I know it was a Ryder Cup site, also U.S. Open venue, or PGA Open venue.
Whistling Straits held the PGA Championship in 2004 and 2010, and then it held a senior U.S. Open. Somebody fact check me on that.
So.
Black Wolf Run, the River course used to hold the Skins game when they did that Shell Wonderful World of Skins game where they have 4 or 5 people there and they play for 100,000 a hole. That would be at Black Wolf Run, and then
they split the 9s apart to make the 2 courses, right? But before they did that, there was also a U.S. Women's Open there.
That is correct. Wow. Yeah, U.S. Women's Open at Black Wolf Run.
A lot of history, a lot of golf history out there.
I think it was Sayri Paak that won it.
Yes.
Oh man, I love
that. That is an accurate statement. And that was 98. I believe that was 98.
I believe so.
So Black Wolf Run started as one 18-hole course when it became an 18-hole course. Black Wolf Run was a pitch and putt for the Kohler company employees way back in the day, before it became Black Wolf Run Championship Golf Course in the 80s when Destination Kohler started. So there was one golf course, and then they broke off and built 2 more. So the back 9 of the Meadows course was the front 9 of the original course. So Greg made a mention about the Meadows course being his second favorite course on the trip behind Erin Hills. And I'm assuming it's Erin Hills.
Erin Hills U.S. Open venue, correct? Right?
Yes. Yep. U.S. Open venue, Erin Hills, top 20 golf course in the country. Whistling Straits, number 3 in the nation. River course in the 20s. So 5 top 100 golf courses in a week last year on the trip, which is really cool.
All right, Travis. I don't mean to cut you off, but Greg, tell me. Story, a top story, and I need something. I need some juice. I need something juicy to keep the people coming back, because it's not me and Travis that keep coming back. We're not the reason.
As far as in the Black Wolf Run complex, like my favorite day over there was the baths. So that is a brand new thing. Last year we got to, I believe, be the first public play on that, Travis.
Yes, that is the Baths is a. Let's add some context.
Yeah,
there.
it's a
Yeah, add some
2 acre.
context.
Yes.
I heard
Yeah.
y'all say the bass last time, and I was like, "Are these guys doing Turkish bath?"
Yes, I know. That's exactly
Well,
like I went to Roman bathhouse as well.
Right? It's a 10-hole par 3. They've got bathtubs around there, that have water in it, like bottled water for you. But there's also a 2 acre putting course. So they have 18 holes set up, across this putting course where, you got little drink holders and everything on each tee box. And you can just absolutely just spend hours out there putting. Just a blast. So we actually, last year we did an elimination par 3 match, and Sean Sexton and I were the first 2 out. So we just went back to the putting green and just had fun. We were just betting a little bit of money, as Sean loves to do. And
Who took whose money?
Well, I believe I took money from Sean that day, but as I believe y'all were talking about Sean's net 57 or 50 or 48 or whatever it was later in the trip, he got his money back. So it evened out.
Well, Sean played with our group, the 4 Bros, this past Saturday at Silverhorn, and I don't know if he's listening, but just letting everybody know he shot 100. Okay.
Well, that means he's going to shoot an 80 next time.
Yes, he is beginning the long game on your guys right now.
he's setting us up, right?
Yes.
He's setting the trap.
That is what he does.
There you go. Sando, the spotted cows were flowing. Oh, that sounds like a drink.
It is a beer. Yes.
Let's see. And Sean got his money back from Travis and I.
I played with the day that Greg's referencing there. Sean's 82, net 57. Jason Sandoval was my partner that day. Yeah, it was. Oh, but we played great. I mean, there was nothing we could do. We couldn't do anything. There was nothing we could do.
So would you say, Greg, that this sounds like this is a bucket list trip that everybody needs to really do at least once in their lifetime, if not once a year?
For sure. I mean, so I'm actually on the ACGT Tour at age 50. You get to move up a tee box, and I'm getting close to there. But the wife and I are already planning maybe to go back there for my 50th birthday and go experience it yet again, because it's just so amazing. And even just little things. I mean, like we got to go to this little dive bar, just to see kind of the world that Travis grew up in.
Whoa,
and just all these little stories.
The world that Travis built is what you said.
Yeah. So I'm Greg's referencing there another a la carte trip that was part of the Travels trip last year. I'm from a town just outside of Kohler, so that's where I grew up. I grew up playing golf.
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Yep, Chevegas. And so yeah, we hit a little dive bar that I used to go to a bunch.
Yeah, we did that. I mean, we went to what's the restaurant we went to where we had the cheese curds and everything else that was in the basement of the America's Club, I believe.
Yep, the Horse and Plow in the basement of the American Club. That was delicious. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Travis, have you ever had like a legit cheese curd here in Texas or in San Antonio?
Yeah, just a cold cheese curd or a fried cheese curd, like
fried cheese curd.
Fried's implied in Wisconsin, right? But there's also cold cheese curds.
Who eats cold cheese curds?
You sell cheese. There's cheese on every shelf in Wisconsin, and there's just cheese everywhere. I'll try to find the picture for you, but I took a picture as I'm leaving from Wisconsin last year, and my conveyor belt at the supermarket is spotted cow, spotted gal. Cow, like 12 summer sausages and like 15 blocks of cheese, and it's like
sausages.
Yes, and it's like Travis is leaving Wisconsin, click, and it's just everything you could only get in Wisconsin.
Oh, we got a sighting. We got a bird sighting here. He's getting on. We got a birdie sighting. See the man himself, C3PO.
Is he coming on or just commenting?
I don't know. I don't know.
He's commenting so far.
He's going to dial in on the way home.
His camera is not updated. He might just be a little creeper, just kind of checking things out here.
Seeing what we talk about him when he's not here. I mean, we talk the same way to his face when he's here, So.
All right, Travis, and I know you've spoke about it before, but why don't you let everybody know that might not have seen any of the previous episodes, where is the ACGT Tour Travels taking place this year?
ACGT Tour Travels this year is again going back to Destination Kohler, Wisconsin, Black Wolf Run, and Whistling Straits for a week of golf. Sunday, May 29th through Friday, June the 3rd this year. Is that right? That's right. May 29th through June 3rd. This will be the second and final time ACGT Tour Travels is on the books to go back to the host Ryder Cup site. So we are excited. It's right around the corner. It's 67 days away until customers are traveling. And we do have one spot available PM, direct message to the Facebook page. If you have interest in going on this year's ACGT Tour Travels trip to Destination Kohler, Whistling Straits, Black Wolf Run, Meadows Course, River Course, the Irish Course, and of course, everybody knows the Straits Course. It's the one you see on TV. It gets the most publicity. But again, I agree with Greg. I had the best time on the short course. That is the Baths. I am the best part of my game is wedges. I am a short course junkie. I love the short course at San Pedro. I love the short course at Riverside. I love hitting those little knockdown shots. It's definitely a strength for me.
I got a little taste of that because we were at Wildcat, and I think it was either the first day during the practice rounds. It was Doc, and I know it was Doc. I think it was about 50, maybe about 45, 50 yards out. I can't remember what hole we're on. And you tell Doc, hey, closest to the pin, right? Closest to the pin. And Doc puts one on maybe about 12 feet. You put one on 6 feet. And then I hit a shot and I skull it over the damn green. And I'm just like, I'm going to go back in the cart.
Well, right now there's this I'm going to say this publicly. There's this illusion that I may still be a good golfer. So I want to keep that going as long as we can. So let's.
You have it in there somewhere. Your swing looks nice. The swing looks nice.
Flashes of glory. Flashes of glory. The swing is short and repeatable.
There you go. I remember Travis exiting early on the Bass.
Well, we did. The person who won, I think I made it to the 7th or 8th hole. I definitely made it around the turn, and we were on the way back. But the person who won that competition that Greg and Sean were eliminated first on was none other than, you guessed it, Dustin Hassan. Rolled in a putt over Dermanuelian on the 10th green. We have that video too.
Killer, man. That guy's a killer.
Yeah, you never want to play him in a par 3 contest.
He's a killer. No, hell no. I love to play guys like that. This is why I work on my game. I am working on my game because you know what? I want to take Dustin down. I want to play Dustin. I want to play those killers. Now, TC Carnes, I want to stay as far away as possible from guys like him.
Yeah.
But Dustin but handicapped, of course. I need my pops, right? I need my pops.
Well, yes. And that is what the tour preaches. Equity across the flights, right? Equity across the flights. This year's travel trip, we had so much fun at the Baths last year, and it was such a cool social spot. That huge putting green just hanging out. We are going to go to the Baths 2 times this year. So we actually have an evening round on the Baths with lights, and then we have a morning round the day we leave again on the Baths. It's just such a cool hangout place. One of the coolest things I've seen as a golf professional in a long time is the revolution that is good short courses.
And I think from one of my good friends, Kerry Neester, that he's from Iowa, and they said that up north, 9-hole courses, or I say executive because I guess in Corpus Christi we're playing the Gabe Lozano course, one of the municipals we have there in Corpus Christi. They have an executive or a par 3 course, and so my dad and we always say the executive course, right? And I don't know, would you consider that an executive course, or is it just like more like San Pedro or just a step up?
It would be a world-class par 3 course, right? So there's a par 3 course, and then there's an executive course, and then there's championship courses. And we're using the word championship there and executive just to talk about length, right? A par 3 course is just that. It's all par 3s. An executive course may have 1 or 2 par 4s and 1 par 5, and it's a par 32. It's not a big boy or a championship course. So it's in its own category, the executive. But the Bads is a world-class par 3 course.
Okay.
I
And
think
it's just
right,
y'all make it seem
club you hit there.
What's the
no
longest
more.
hole? Maybe 150, right?
Yeah, maybe 150.
Yeah, but I mean, like San Pedro's longer.
I agree. San Pedro is longer than the Bads. I agree completely. But the Bads is definitely nicer.
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely.
okay. As we kind of wind down the interview with Greg, before we get you off, Greg, and Travis, this question's for you too. Now, I fell in love with the old school before it was redesigned San Pedro. And I really fell in love with the old setup on how the way the par 3 course, was set up, right? With where 9 is now, I guess 1, right? Would 1 start on that side, right? One stood on this side. For Greg and Travis, which course layout did you prefer, or do you prefer? Travis, I might already know the answer to yours because, of a previous interview I had you on, but I want to hear it.
I mean, I like the new one, the new layout.
No, Greg, that's not what I want to hear, Greg.
I know you didn't.
No, I don't want to hear that.
The San Pedro par 3 course right now it's the whole package, in my opinion. A first timer could go out there and dink the ball from tee to green, and I could go out there with Greg Graf and the ACGT Tour Travels team members and have a shitload of fun tomorrow. So it really is a place for everybody. And official statement: the greens at the greens on the par 3 course at San Pedro have been the best quality putting surfaces that we've had on the tour spring season.
I believe it. I don't chip and putt. I don't chip and putt on the practice, the short game area. I wait till guys get through 9 so I can chip onto the green over there. That's what I wait for.
I have no comment.
Hey,
No, and some of the reason I like the new layout is, I got, I believe, a 4th place in the first San Pedro match play that I played at. So it's kind of special,
it's making sense
there's
now.
memories associated with that. So,
all right, Greg. So one thing would you have to say, maybe one thing out there you'd have to say for anybody who's interested in joining the tour, playing a tour event, or making the ACGT Tour Travels?
As far as the tour, you can play golf with your buddies, all day long, that's fine, but it's just a whole different thing and a lot more engaging to actually, be in competition. And the way the handicap setup works, anybody can compete. Anybody can make the South Texas match play team. I think, is it last time? Was there somebody from every flight? I believe there was. And as far as tour travels, it's just the absolute most amazing experience. You just cannot replicate it. I wouldn't have had the same experience had I just gone to whistlingstraits.com and, swiped a card. You can do that. Anybody can do that, but you don't get the same experience.
I agree with that completely. I think that some of the dinners were more fun than some of the rounds of golf.
Oh yeah. We had it just from sun up to sundown and further on. It was just a blast.
I really think that's kind of like the whole experience though. And I feel bad because I have some friends that all they do is that they show up right before tee time, they play and they leave. And I know we all have busy lives, right? Everybody's got stuff on their plate. But man, I just think that's part of the whole thing, right? That's part of the whole experience. And it seems like when you're able to do that and just kind of get away, some people don't have their wives, or is it right, Travis? If I'm not mistaken, it's all just like a guy's trip, or
I don't want to describe it as a buddy's trip. I want to describe it as a non-points or earning tour event. That's how I want to describe it. Because I think you could bring the misses and you could upgrade your room, and there is plenty to do on this trip. There's plenty to do in Kohler for misses, but I don't believe it is a degenerate buddies trip in any way whatsoever. And it could be. I mean, you do whatever you want. I mean, I don't care. But there is nothing degenerate on the official itinerary.
I think that's what's part of the whole experience that I think a lot of people miss out on, in that they don't just take the plunge. I truly feel like those type of trips are bucket list trips. You're never going to forget it. And like you stated, like I stated, is that those dinners, those after round shenanigans and activities, that's really better sometimes than the golf. All right. I got Birdie's talking about it. Did we tell the Eagle Nest story?
You know, as funny, I was just going to bring up that dinner. I'd love to tell this story with a graphic behind me, but I teased it a little bit. I teased it a little bit on that Facebook thread post this week. Patrick DeCosimo made a Facebook post on the San Antonio Golfers page that said, "Hey, everybody, be nice to everybody. Yay." And I believe somebody from the tour commented with an eagle emoji and then the word nest. So, the Eagles Nest story. Oh, here we go. Jason Bird.
Birdie.
Locked and loaded.
Birdie, are you there, Birdie?
I am on my phone, yes.
Okay, Birdie. Travis doesn't want to give us any juice, man. Doesn't want to give us any insight.
He doesn't want to tell the Eagle Nest story?
He doesn't want to tell it.
I want to tell it with I would love to tell it with a graphic. Okay, but we'll go ahead and tell it. Bird, you fact check me if I'm out of line here. We are at Whistling Straits. It is Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. We are playing the ACGT Tour Travels round at Whistling Straits for last year's travel trip, and we are on hole number 10. I remember this story vividly because I had just ripped off a big number on the front nine. I wasn't playing great, and I was eating a cookie, a big cookie that they sell at the halfway house there at Whistling Straits, and I dropped my cookie on the ground, and I just walked away. And Patrick blasted driver off of number 10 tee box, a very short par 4. Probably didn't have to hit driver, which is what he'll tell you now. He hit driver into the tall grass. I'm gonna draw a picture here. He hit driver into the tall grass on the right, which was like knee-high fescue. He got up there, was not happy about his situation. He made a swing, left the ball in the fescue. It barely moved. And then he made a angry Patrick swing, and it pops out into the fairway. So that's 1 in the fescue, 2 stayed in the fescue, 3 just came out of the fescue into the rough, and he proceeds to turn 90 degrees to the left and full swing his golf ball in play into a group of trees, not anywhere near the hole, which just happens to have an adult nesting pair of bald eagles in the top of the tree. That's where the Eagle's Nest reference comes from. So now he is currently laying 4 in the Eagle's Nest. And we play the hole out, and we are playing double par max for our scoring purposes on the ACGT Travels. And we're going through, and Casey Graham is in that foursome as well. And he is getting scores for everybody. And this is where the truth comes out of this conversation. Patrick says, "I made a 6." And I heard Jason laugh in the background. And I'm like, "Patrick, you did not make a 6. You were 4 in the Eagle's Nest over 300 yards away from where we started." And Casey immediately chimed in, interrupted me, whipped out Golf Genius. "Patrick, 8. Boop. And we moved on. And it came up again and again and again at dinner that night. Patrick went around the table telling his side of the story, and it digresses. But he was laying 4 in the Eagle's Nest and made a 6. That's
Would have made a 6.
what. And
At
That was
most.
his
At
contention.
most.
Yeah.
At most.
the way he tells the story is that when he came home and put in the score into gin, it equitable stroke controlled him
To 6.
to 6 anyways. So officially in his gin,
So he
got
was right.
6.
So he was right.
So he didn't finish the hole. His ball is still in the Eagle's nest right
To this
now.
day.
And he didn't finish the hole, lays 4 in an Eagle's nest, said he got a 6, took a double par max, got super mad about it, and then gets equitable stroke controlled to a 6 in
But,
the
Andy, the best part's at dinner when he's talking about how he made a 6 on number 10.
There you go. There you go. Sando said, be more
and
descriptive
Travis
of
is
dinner
like-
antics.
And Travis is like, you did not make a 6. You didn't even finish the hole. And he's like, well, I would have made no more than a 6 because I would have just chipped up to the front of the green, chipped on, and 2-putted for 6. And Travis is like, listen, bro, you're laying fucking 4 in the Eagle's nest.
it was I was sitting next to Patrick at dinner. I was on the end of the table and Patrick was right there, and we were nose to nose. I'm like, bro, you didn't make a 6. I don't care how much you talk right now. You didn't finish the hole and you teed off on the next hole. We should DQ you from the whole thing.
He gets mad. He gets real mad. I was there for a couple of his club twirls at Wildcat.
That is a very polite way of saying club throws. That's club twirls.
I just love when Patrick got up and was like, F you and F you and F you and F you. And we're all just laughing.
Oh,
Sean Sexton's at the end of the table drinking a Camus, just laughing his ass off.
immediately following that story was Sean's crazy day, right? Sean's crazy bet came at that same dinner that the Patrick, yeah. So ACGT Tour Travels, the dinners are where it's at. But right after the Patrick Eagles Nest debacle is when Sean Sexton came out with this is what's going to happen tomorrow. And it did, yes.
He took everyone's money.
Fleeced us all.
It made Sando very sad.
Sando, I apologize. I wasn't descriptive enough. We do not have a disclaimer for mature audiences only. But I mean, I believe there were more between me and Patrick at the table. There was more profanity than not profanity.
It's that whole, and then you're both smiling while doing it. And freaking, wasn't Patrick holding a bottle of wine while he was just yelling at everybody?
He was.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
That was a great night. That was at Black Wolf Run that night.
Yeah. And he's like, listen, I would make no more than a 6 right there. I just got mad.
Laying 4 in the Eagles Nest, bro. You ain't getting up and down from the Eagles Nest for 6.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
110 yards away, deep in the nest.
Okay, so what's the official ruling there, Travis?
The official ruling there is we were playing double par max. It was on the rule sheet. So double par max you could pick up at any time. So he took an 8 and we moved on. If we are in a regular tournament there, Patrick DeCosimo did not hole out a ball on number 10 before teeing off on number 11. He is OUT out of town.
For champ flight, though.
For champ flight, though.
Yeah.
Champ flight.
Hey, man, third flight, you can take a +5 and go on with your day.
Yeah.
Or he would have had to drop.
It is. I can't stress it enough. It is imperative to know the rules of the competition. I agree, Case. That ball is still in the Eagles' nest.
And Tyler makes a good point. It was a very, very good double par from the Eagles' nest.
Yes, I mean I double parred it yesterday. I was just there. I picked up for double par. No, I'm
The
just
Eagles
kidding.
are probably wondering why their egg didn't hatch.
Yeah, I mean, no shit. There's a bald Eagle's nest in the tree that Patrick slapped his golf ball into. Yes.
There it is. Yes, it's right there. We see the eagle fly over. And where else are you going to see an eagle fly over your head other than Whistling
There you go.
Straits?
Tyler, it was a very solid double par from the Eagles' nest. There we go. All right, guys. All right. Well, thank you, Greg. I don't mean to be kicking you off, but I know we're getting a little bit late here in time. But thanks so much, guys, to Greg Gaff for being on, ACGT Tour Ambassador, great guy. And right here, before you go, I have one of my buddies. He commented on here, Esteban Robelado. I just played with him this weekend. I can't say his name, Esteban. Right here.
Esteban Robledo.
We had a blast. So earlier you were talking about third flight or whatever, somebody that comes out super nervous and, posts 2 big numbers. I believe it was Esteban's third event. He shot like an 82, which was like a net 60 and wins like his third event after having, he did have some high scores to start off with.
Man, I think it was right here. Esteban states about Greg. I had the privilege to play with Greg my first solo round 2. I played horrible, but Greg was awesome. I was so nervous. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being a great ambassador for the tour. And again, Travis, this is the guy. This is the guy you put with hat golfers like Esteban and myself.
Hey, Graf, GG brings it home. Team member himself, always there in the playoffs. Greg's awesome. His ambassadorship is so appreciated by me and Casey and Jason and Dustin. He does so much for the tour. He takes a lot of the front end stuff. He's really settled into an amazing role starting, communicating what we're doing that day to players. And it really allows me to be where I need to be day of a tournament because my head's going 45 different directions at the same time. And he's really locked and loaded in there. First one there, last one to leave. GG, Greg Graf, thank you for all you do. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, Greg, have a good night, brother.
See y'all.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and have finally a word from a couple of our sponsors here. All right. Shout out to Elevated Logistics, South Texas Match Play Challenge sponsor, Rick Hoinsey, Ricky Ho, right here. It is his company. According to Rick, they are a courier service that if they will get anything delivered at that day, if you need it, they put their stamp of approval on it. They will get the job done. That is Elevated Logistics. Thank you to Rick Hoinsey for his sponsorship of the South Texas Match Play and the ACGT Tour. Also, we have the Cake Place and More, Laura Lewis. Laura Lewis does some great work right here. These are the cookies she actually made for my school, Blessed Sacrament Catholic School Bulldogs, right here. She did a great job of replicating these freaking jerseys. Look, she even put the Nike swoosh right there. My kids love them. They made their day. Laura, there's not a lot that Laura cannot do, and she always tears it up, always makes these great cookies as trophies for the ACGT Tour events. Make sure you hit her up on Facebook. That is Laura Lewis, The Cake Place and More. Thank you for your sponsorship. And we're back.
I love it. I love the cookies. Thank you to Rick Hoinsey, Elevated Logistics. Thank you to Laura Lewis at The Cake Place and More. And then, of course, thank you to Sean Sexton and Goosehead Insurance, a Sexton agency, as the presenting tour sponsor this year. Those victory cookies with The Cake Place and More have become cult classics with the tour, and I think it's so cool. I'm so happy. She's so involved. She made the backdrop that's behind me right now. So I mean, really, The Cake Place and More. She does so much. She's awesome.
All right, guys. So right here, as we kind of wrap up some of this ACGT Tour Power Hour. Let us know, where are we at? Where are we going next, Travis? Where is the tour going next?
Tour going next, ACGT Tour Spring. I'm sorry, let me jump up in my script here. What has happened so far? ACGT Tour Spring season. We are 6 events in and 307 golfers in. 307 unique players have played in the first 6 events. We've got 4 events coming up, 4 events to go in the spring season. April 3rd, individual stroke play, Northern Hills is next up on the tour calendar. www.acgttour.golf to register online today. Jason, where are we at capacity on that? I saw a text message earlier that there's only a handful of spots left.
Yeah, I think we're down to the last 25 or so. So it's definitely going to fill up, and it's filling up fast.
So we are predicting another sellout at spring event number 7, individual stroke play, standard points. It is the last standard points event of the spring season. Following Northern Hills, we go 2-person alternate shot at Cedar Creek, also open for registration. And then the tour debut at Almost Basin, individual stroke play, followed by the PC Masters, the Players Club Masters at Brack to wrap up the spring season. And you know what the week after the Masters is? ACGT Tour Travels 2022. So it's a rock star spring season here that we are wrapping up in. And it is, I call this the speed slot section of the spring season. We go Northern Hills, Cedar Creek, Almost Basin. Fast, fast, and faster.
All right. So let me ask you this, guys. Now Willow has this great vibe for like after round activities and just really like a cool ass vibe, right? I think Brack has that as well. I think Brack has the potential to do that, and maybe because it's got that outdoor pavilion, I don't think it has. It doesn't have any of the food, right? It doesn't have any of the food and the grill that Willow provides. Don't you think that maybe this is something that almost is maybe lacking or maybe could use? I mean, because the redesign was awesome. The pavilion's great. I think it's just missing some food or a food truck, something.
I hear they're putting an outdoor kitchen there so people will be able to like grill out after their round and whatnot.
And they added an outdoor kitchen at the pavilion at Brackenridge Park as well. I believe that could be staffed in the future, especially for special events, charity scrambles, cookouts, weddings, other special events, things like that.
That's one thing I think is great about Mission Del Lago. Ray Garza has the Rockin' G grill out there. And you know what? I'm late. I was almost late for my tea time because I'm waiting for my damn tacos. But Travis, you brought us our tacos, I think, as we were going off the 18th green. You even deliver.
Listen,
Damn,
that is the full service golf concierge. That is the Alamo City Golf Trail Tour. We try to do whatever we can to make that experience different than a normal experience at a golf course, right? It's a tournament experience. We want it to be top notch. And if you remember me bringing you tacos on the first tee, you're going to come back again. And that's what it's about for us at the ambassador level. It's about that experience for you, the tour golfer, that it's a memorable experience. And if on a day when you shot a hundo 20, you remembered me bringing you tacos, that's a win.
It was 119. All right, guys. Anything else, guys, as we close off this podcast?
That is all I got, Andy.
All right, man. I think we were able to fill this time pretty good. Travis, 30-minute show, right?
Yeah, 30-minute show. I love the off weekends. I love the fact that there's so much content on the Alamo City Golf Trail Tour. There's tour travels. There's the point standings. Next week's show is an off-week show again, and we are going to talk about the South Texas Match Play Challenge, and we are going to talk about the point standings and how it works. There's always something to talk about. There's always comments, questions from the viewers. There's so much content on the ACGT Tour, and we're going to be here with you week in and week out. And I will do my best to be here every week at 8:30, answering questions, answering the tough questions about the Eagles Nest, answering the tough questions about course conditions coming up, things like that. I'm here to provide an insight in everything we possibly can. That is the tour.
Whistling Straits, right there, buddy. What is that? Okay, what is that? Is that a whistler or what?
It's the Norse wind god with Herb Kohler's face superimposed on it. Or more specifically, this is just a bag tag.
It is a bag tag. The Whistling Straits logo is the Norse wind god. Yes.
With Herb Kohler's face on it.
Okay, before we go, that makes a lot of sense, answers a lot of questions for me. Before we go, last thing, Casey, we should talk about Travis's cookie story.
I mean, I shot 47 on the front nine of the straight course that day. I was looking at Patrick's scorecard, and I played with Patrick that day, so I happened to glance at my solid 47 on the front nine. So I finished double, bogey, double. So double, bogey, double, shoot 47 on the front nine of the straights course, and then dropped my $8 cookie on the ground.
Damn, dude. That
Yes,
sounds like
that's
a
it.
cookie. That sounds like my $20 bowl of oatmeal from Torres.
Yes, and you know Casey, he is in charge of content, so he's always got the camera rolling. You always get hot mic'd with Casey all the time because he's in charge of content. That's what he does. He takes pictures of everybody. He takes videos of everybody, and sometimes, more often than not, he catches my hot mic. And I was sitting off to the side, and I was yelling at myself, for lack of better words. I was talking myself into playing better on the back nine, and in the middle of my speech to myself, my cookie broke and just fell onto the ground in front of me. And at that very moment that I'm looking down in shock at my cookie, Casey is recording me.
Oh, that's perfect. Casey, send it to me. Send it to me. Perfect. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being on the show tonight, guys. I had a freaking blast. I'm sorry, Travis. I know you worked really hard on the script.
Well, we got the Greg Graf segment taken care of. Yes, exactly. I did work really hard on that script. I want you to know, because it was the first off week script, so there was nothing to copy and paste from. So that was all typed out, that entire sheet.
You know
I
what?
worked real hard on that.
Never mind. I can read some of it still. Hey guys, thanks so much, Birdie. Thanks for coming on, brother. I appreciate it, man. I really kind of a little jealous though, because I thought I had Travis all to myself, and then you know what? I was
Well,
like,
I mean,
I was the meat in the
I was
sandwich
told
with
this was
Greg.
a 30-minute show, and so I get out of my business dinner, and what do I see? You guys are still going. I get all the way back to my house. You guys are still going, so I was like, might as well get on.
Providing content that is the Alamo City Golf Trail Tour. That is what we are here to do, and we will continue to do it as long as you guys will listen to us.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night, guys.
You too.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I loved speaking with Travis about the ACGT Tour and the Tour Series, ACGT Tour Travels. Thanks so much to Greg Gaff for being on the show. Thanks for Birdie for chiming in. It's awesome to be a part of the ACGT Tour right now. This thing is on fire, and I'm so thankful to be in this position. I will be at the Dell on Friday doing a little media coverage for Sports Tonight as a golf analyst, doing a little bit of media gig right here for Hector Ledesma and Quarter Moon Productions. Please, guys, check out the podcast, NothingisOB, South Texas Golf Podcast. Make sure you chime in. Check out ACGT Tour Series. Check out my man Travis, Bird, Sando, Dustin, Casey. All those guys are tearing it up. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in.